I have a new deck and new spread, new ways of interpreting. Okay, so it's going to be very different from the previous month's reading. And I'm using the Tarot, Illuminati deck for the general reading, and then I'm using the Tarot Musha for the love reading specifically. What I do feel for you is there's some trouble on the love front, and I feel like there might be troubles affecting the love situation. There might be, financial issues or even other things in your life are creeping up on you, and you're devoting your time dealing with those other things. And the relationship aspect for those who are in committed relationships are kind of falling on the wayside. They might be a little bit neglected, so you want to, catch up with your partner, or at least verbalize what is going on with you to your partner so that they understand why there is that emotional distance. Okay, the second thing here is I feel for those especially who are single, what's coming through is relationship is just not on the forefront for on your agenda for this month. I feel you have practical concerns that you're trying to take care of, and I feel like a lot of you are thinking about some long-term goals, some long-term type of achievements, and that's where you're headed. That's where your focus is. Okay, um, I feel as well it is really important for you this month to verbalize what it is that you want, verbalize what it is that you need, and especially don't think about, don't doubt your self-worth when it comes to acquiring or even going after the things that you want, because I feel like you're starting off on a really, good sprint or a good jog, I guess, at a very good pace. And then there are bumps on the road and you're doubting yourself. And I feel like it's, um, this flip-flopping back and forth, am I good enough? Is that right for me? Do I really deserve that? And those are negative thoughts that you really want to remove from your train of thoughts. Don't preoccupy yourself with that type of energy, okay? Just know what it is. Be a little bit more directed, I guess, when it comes to what it is that you want. And know that you deserve it, and know that it's on your path for a reason, so you have to go that extra step to get it. But I feel that for a lot of you, you're doubting whether or not you are, you're meant for it, and it's unnecessary. Okay, so move forward and don't be stuck with the mental energy where you are doubting yourself. So the way this spread works is we have 4 clusters here. This deals with your overall energy. We have 3 advice cards, and this is the direction that you need to head towards, okay? And then after this, I'm going to gather up the cards and we are going to do the love reading. So what I'm going to do here is keep these covered for now, and then we'll go back to them in a little bit. Okay, so first of all, first cluster that we're dealing with here, these are finances, and these are very, very good financial cards. At the same time, what it deals with is some family property, it can be business with family members, or it can just be some real estate management, family property coming through, okay? First off, we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is a card about generational wealth. This is a card about financial stability. A lot of you, this is something that you're thinking about. It's weighing heavily on your mind, and you're finding ways to achieve financial prosperity, not only for yourself, but for your family unit, for your extended family members, for your own nuclear families even. And it is especially prominent here because we do have as well the Six of Pentacles, which also indicates children, family wealth, wanting to create something of value and to leave a legacy for your children, okay? So a lot of you are thinking long term. At this present moment, you are thinking how you can direct or steer the direction of your life so that you can be able to achieve this. A lot of you also are thinking about, joining assets together, potentially with a business partner or a romantic relationship partner. One of you might be, swimming in money. The other one might have half of that. So together, it's a tricky situation, and you have to find ways to get around this. But I do feel, financial considerations are going to be very prominent this month. It looks very good. It looks very stable. The only thing is the 10 came out before the 6. So I'm going to say that there might be a lot of expenditures around the household, fixing up the household, making it comfortable, purchasing new items in order to make it a home, and as well expenditures when it comes to children, okay? Enrolling them in lessons, doing all the extracurricular activities so that they have a good foundation. And I feel that it is really important for you to do what you can. Children, it's nice to cultivate their skills. It definitely is. But I feel like that can be done cheaply, and it can be also done within the home. All right. So I feel like for a lot of you too, family members might come to you to ask for money, or to even um, there might be some financial worries. You're asking family members for money or for a loan, or they likewise will come to you. I don't feel so much financial institutions, but the Six of Pentacles usually indicates a financial windfall as well. And this is, asking for loans for a business, for a startup, for some type of projects that you're planning to do. It looks very favorable, okay? It looks very favorable. I would say branch out in the direction that you want to look. Look at small banks, small micro, like credit unions, as well as big financial institutions as well. I feel like the smaller route is going to be more favorable for you for some reason, like small micro finance institutions or even credit unions, all right? The next cluster that is coming through here is the Sun and the Judgment card. You have a new beginning coming through, and this is related to success. This is the Sun card. It indicates like the public image that you project out into the full energy that heralds a new beginning in our lives. And also, Pisces, I forgot, I want to wish you a turn type of energy where you are going to be able to achieve a lot of success. You have a path to head towards, and I feel that it means closing some doors in order for these things to happen. It means taking care and making sure your financial foundation is rooted. It means, donating all the stuff that you don't use, moving property, moving houses, looking for a new place, potentially starting a new job where you are going to be in a more public capacity, where you're going to be in the spotlight. Something is being shown on you, like I feel like a spotlight being shown on you. And a lot of the times it means, with the Judgment card, it's basically the day of reckoning. So if you think about it, it's sort of like a reassessment, where am I? Who am I? What do I want to do? Am I really happy with the way my life is right now? If I'm not happy, what can I change about my life? So there is a sweeping, transformative energy coming through that is making you question these really deep, existential, but also philosophical, but also long-term types of questions regarding, your life path, regarding what you need to be successful. So I feel like it's more career, public image, success oriented. And it is also through family that you are going to achieve some types of blessings, some types of help, okay? For a lot of you, there might just be dividing up assets between members of the family. And it's going to be finalized this month, I feel. So it's bringing in financial windfall, and also a new lease on life is what I'm sensing here. So the next cluster that we're dealing with is, once again, some type of conflict. And I feel that for a lot of you, it is playing out in the work environment because of the Pentacles energy. So the Two of Pentacles is juggling. Juggling your finances. This is trying to get by and trying to assess if you have enough in order to do something. I do feel that behind you, we have the Five of Wands, which is a conflict card. For those of you who are dealing with estate planning, who might have like somebody who might have inherited something, I feel like the asset that you inherited might be divided up between multiple people, siblings, family members, things like that, people in your environment even. And there's a little bit of contentiousness around it because I feel like there's competition. Okay, there's competition, and there's also multiple parties involved. And I'm reading this more in a financial way, not so much related to love, although we're going to do the love reading next and see if that same energy pops up. But I do feel either way. This is a conflictual disagreements and things like that, but I don't feel that it's harsh. it's not a physical battle. This is more competition, and it's a playful energy. And it's not harsh in the way that the Five of Swords is harsh. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I definitely feel you're getting a lot of information from people, and people around you might be combative, and they're like, he said this, she said this, and you're trying to get an unbiased version of the story. And at the same time, you have a lot of things that you're dealing with, and you don't really want to get involved. So I feel that you are potentially on the sidelines. Um, you're a peace-loving sign, and when people around you are fighting, and especially people that you care about, and they're fighting each other, you just it makes you feel emotionally destabilized. So even though you might not be involved in this conflict, I feel like it does emotionally destabilize you. Well, the advice here is you've got a lot on your plate, and there's no need for you to get involved. Okay, so don't let somebody else's problem, messes, and conflict create emotional turmoil within you. Get yourself a little bit more grounded this month. Okay, Pisces. Next cluster that we're dealing with movement. So this is moving house. And this is also, letting the conflict behind. So I mentioned closing some doors for good. And, sometimes we have to close those doors to protect ourselves, because I feel like if you're feeling financially destabilized or emotionally destabilized as a result of this two of Pentacles energy, you are going to have to take a break, close those doors for good, or take a break, come back to it when you're in a better state of frame of mind, when you're able to objectively assess and hear both sides of the story. So I feel like the ends of cycles are coming through for you. And I actually would prefer it if these tens came out before the Judgment card. But I feel that the Judgment card is more about, it's linked up with how we see ourselves, our sense of what we deserve, getting what we deserve, and demanding what we deserve. So the Judgment card is bringing in this new sense of self-awareness. It brings about a new sense of self-confidence, not settling for less anymore. So I feel like for those of you who have been going through problematic situations where you were too nice, or where you were like being trampled on, and you don't really stand up for yourself, all of that is coming to an end, because I feel that by this point you know who your friends are, and you also know, I need to close some doors on some people, I need to lock some people out, I need to physically change my environment and invite in better energies. So I can't go back and do things the way I've been doing, because it's laden with financial worries, it's laden with conflict within family units. So a lot of you might be moving to a new property. A lot of you might have accumulated enough wealth, and you're moving to a place, you're possibly moving in with new family members who are going to provide a lot of love, support, new structures for you. I also want to say that it's a very business oriented type of month. It's public image, business, finances. And those are the three major things that I'm sensing will be conflictual for this month. Love relationships, I'm not getting that too much. You have a lot on your plate, and I feel like your attention is diverted elsewhere. But I definitely see some major movements happening for you. And, sometimes it feels like we want to be proactive and we want to take the preemptive strike and walk away. But I feel because you're a water sign, you've been hesitating. You know it wasn't good for you, and you've been hesitating for quite some time, and now you're kind of being pushed away from it, possibly against your will. But now you can't go back to it, because you know that, oh, well, I've been waiting for such a long time. I should have done something sooner. But now that, it's the end of the line, I actually have no choice. So you're moving forward, and I feel that both of these cards are indicative of endings, okay? Major endings when it comes to possibly business. Perhaps they did not have your best interests at heart. And it is important to ally yourself with people who care about you. So I feel like you know who your friends are, you know who your foes are, which is great. So let's leave it there, and let's look at your advice. All right, so in terms of the advice, this is where you're supposed to be headed, okay? So keep that in mind. First of all, there is a fire energy, a very strong fire sign in your midst. And the fire sign is Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. And there is a sense of separation with this person. We do have the Three of Swords here. So I definitely feel for a lot of you, you are not going to have a choice and you are going to have to close some doors. And it's interesting, the Five of Wands, it's a Wands energy, it's a fire energy. It deals with conflict. We do have like a very conflictual person energy in your midst. They themselves might not be combative, but together, I feel like because you're a water sign, they're a fire sign, ideologically and philosophically, you don't mesh very well. I do feel that. I feel like there is a cunning energy. Somebody might be very self absorbed, might be very self serving. And that I feel like a lot of the times you might intuitively sense it, but this is the month in which you feel it. You feel that, wow, they're not, they're, individualistic and they're not working as a team player. I feel like that's what's happening here. And it's kind of like, what do I get out of this? The energy can flow both ways. So I feel like there has to be some type of separation, distance coming through in order for you both to disengage from the conflict and to reapproach this situation in the future when you both have enough distance and objectivity between the two of you, and you can come back together and resolve this in a more, um, I would say, productive manner, because you're working at cross purposes with one another right now. And I feel like that person has a very strong personality, and they are very, they're very like, they're taking more of a moral high ground. I also feel there's a lot of energies that is steeped in family traditions. This is like somebody who might be very, I almost feel like dogmatic. And keep in mind, I don't read reversals, and the traditional meaning from the Rider-Waite deck is not going to apply here. But I definitely feel that this is somebody who is very strong-minded, possibly very stubborn. But I feel like there is a sense of like possibly even conservativeness or even dogmaticness about them, where they're stickler for rules. And I feel like that's what you're getting here. And you want a little bit more free-flowing energy. And I feel separation from with a fire sign. And the cups energy here, the Four of Cups, indicates you. I feel that for a lot of you, you miss this person. You really, really miss this person. The separation might have happened within the past 6 months, within the past 3 months. There might have been a lot of conflict, and it was just, inevitable. But I feel like you were dragging your feet, and, things had to be done. But you were possibly dragging your feet, and the longer you drag your feet, the harder it is for you to move on. And I feel like that's what's happening here. I still feel some type of long distance, um, you know, internet based communication coming through. But I don't feel that you're seeing them in person. But I feel that you're missing the person. You want them to be in your life. You wish things were different. You're pining for the past. You wish things were different. But I feel like for this month, Pisces, you are going to get a lot of support from your family unit. You are going to get a lot of support from, I feel more of the paternal side of the family, relatives, friends, and, just relatives from the paternal side of the family. I feel like family is going to be the major catalyst for change and for restoring your faith and for making you feel quite good and confident about your course of actions. So for a lot of you, if you're going through separation, divorces, endings of relationships as well, business partnerships or love relationships, you're trying to get other people from your family for advice. You're coming to them for advice and you're asking them, what should I do? And the answer actually lies within, because your family, they're going to be supportive no matter what you decide to do. But I feel that some members of the family, especially the old generations, are just like, no, stay together, make things work because that's how we do it. And the young people are just like, well, there's a lot of conflict and there's a lot of imbalances within that relationship. So maybe you should let it go. So you're getting this generational divide, and you're getting advice from people who are biased based on their own life experiences and the way they look at the world and the way they see relationships. So the answer does lie within Pisces, but I feel that there is still you're pining for something from the past, and you can't go back to it. And I feel like the finality is starting to hit, that whole sense of I can't go back. I have to move on. And I feel like you have to do the whole mourning process, okay? And you have to come to that acceptance stage so that you can move on. Now, finances looks very good though, so not to worry, but I feel like a lot of you are distracting yourself with work and things like that in order to recover from some type of separation from somebody who's very dear to you, near and dear to you, who was very near and dear to you in the past. So let's see what's... So once again, I'm not going to be reading reversals, not with this deck because it's a non-traditional deck. I'm going to pull out 5 cards. The interpretation is going to be a little bit different. This is here. So we've got the Judgment card once again, which is very good. So the message I'm getting here is Pisces, especially for those of you out there who have been doing something that you're not supposed to. Stop, because I feel like some type of exposure is going to happen for this month. You want to be careful about that, okay? It's not a good time to do that and start out your solar year with any type of indiscretion or with any type of, it's just bad vibe and energy to bring forward with you for the rest of this year. So if you are in that position, I feel very strongly some type of exposure happening, skeletons being dug out of the closet and things like that. So you want to just be very careful. Okay, so you've got really very, very good cards. First of all, you have 2 kings, and that's always a good sign. When the kings show up, they're very, very powerful, charismatic, enigmatic, strategic, intelligent people that are coming through for you, okay? Especially for you ladies, Pisces, who are dating males. Very good love month. So first of all, because we have 2 males, we also have the lovers. There is, I feel, if you're in any type of a love triangle, if you're involved in any type of indiscretion, be very careful. Be very careful because first of all, we have the Judgment card, which brings about new beginnings. There are 3 people here. One person seems very, very upset, and it's also kind of like that day of reckoning where things will be exposed and we have to atone for our sins, where we have to answer for our actions. So I feel like something is happening here and it's not too favorable for you. So if you've been doing something you're not supposed to, I feel that you want to stop now, okay? What I feel coming through at the center of the spread, we have the Hermit. And the Hermit card in this deck, I feel like it's a sense of isolation. I feel that for a lot of you, you haven't really been dating. And this is the month in which dating prospects are definitely going to come through for you. A lot of you have been bogged down with financial issues, family planning, estate, and things like that. And love was really not on the forefront of the agenda. I feel kind of like for a lot of you, you've been burned. I honestly believe that a lot of you have been cheated on. And you're at a point where you are very self-protective and you're afraid of meeting new people. And you know, the worst things about infidelity is that it's not just a betrayal. I mean, that's an obvious one. But a lot of the times we question our self-worth, and we question, what didn't I do right, that where the other person, feel like they have to seek others outside of the relationship. It cripples our self-esteem, and it's even worse for a lot of us. If we're digging for answers, we want to know who the Mr. or the Mrs. is, or we want to know who the third party is, and we're like obsessively going on social media, stalking, where we are obsessively trying to dig for information. And when we are digging, we feel like that sense of it's like an adrenaline rush. And it's also where you're looking for information, you're digging for data, you are researching. And the further you go down this rabbit hole, the more isolated you are going to feel. Okay, so for those of you who are dealing with this, I know it's hard, but walk away from it. Find something a little bit more productive to do. And I feel like it is a rabbit hole, and you're keeping yourself holed up, and you're keeping it's like a drug. It's a huge adrenaline rush when we're doing something we're not supposed to. So this can also apply if you're like obsessively stalking or, trying to dig for information. It's not serving you any good. So, walk away from the computer, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, okay? And I feel that for especially singles, you have several options here. And I do feel as well, you are going to meet somebody who is going to be very, very good for you. And I know for those of you who have recently dated or have recently broken up, you're in no position where you feel like, I don't really want to be around people. I just want to live in my little den, in my little man cave or woman cave. I don't really want to go out and socialize. But crowning you here is the lovers. And the lovers indicates this is a really good depiction of it. It indicates, first of all, that there is going to be some physical magnetic attraction to another person. This is something that is ordained and divinely led into your path, okay? So regardless of whatever gender you're dating, and I'm reading for 80% of my viewers are like women. So I feel like something is being brought into your life. If you are a woman dating males, you have some really strong alpha males that are coming through. You have the King of Wands and also the King of Cups. I also feel like this is a situation where you're a little bit timid, and I feel like they excite you, like, physically, but also you're a little bit intimidated. There might be some just feeling out of sorts, feeling as if, not being comfortable in your own skin, body image issues, thinking that it's too soon to date, but things happen on universal time and we can't really control it. It's when you're not looking for love that it's around you, right? It's pretty ironic how that always happens. So I feel like you have something in store for you, Pisces, and it's mainly because you have stepped away and you are doing other things in the universe. It's just like, well, now that you're doing other things, here's what you should work on. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is happening for you. The Hermit also indicates, spiritual guidance as well. Something is going to cross paths with you. It seems like to me like it's very serendipitous, like it's going to happen because we have some major arcana in this quadrant, which brings about, something fated, something outside of your control. And I feel like this is you. Even if you're kicking and screaming, you're not going to be able to avoid this. So this is something potentially a new relationship coming through that has the elements of stability associated with it that you need, okay? And I feel like for especially those of you who are in committed relationships, like I mentioned, you or your partner might feel a little bit neglected. I feel like for you, you might feel a little bit neglected. So you're kind of like demanding a little bit more attention or resorting to some type of attention seeking in order to get some type of confirmation or in order to get, more affection from your partner. And the cards are saying that's a great thing to do, actually, because it goes both ways. Maybe your partner's not aware of this, but at the same time, if your partner feels a little bit isolated, I feel like some grand gestures are coming through from your end in order for you to rekindle and reconnect with your partner. For those of you who are single, I do sense that the foundation is the King of Wands. The King of Wands it's a really passionate person, okay? So you might be dealing with a fire sign, sun, moon, or rising, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. You might also be dealing with another water sign, another, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. But I'm reading more of this as your energy. But either way, you are going to be pretty much fired up. You're going to feel that passion coming through, and it's unavoidable. Whoever you encounter, I do sense you are being divinely guided. I do feel there is strong protection from the universe for the union to come together. I also feel as well that you both are very similar in your mannerism, okay? Because both of them shows up as kings, and I feel like people who are pretty much like in the same life station, they might be have the same interests, they might be on the same career track, or they might just be like very good equal partners. So I do sense one person is very passionate, you know, like physically. The other person is very passionate emotionally. So you can't really go wrong dating this month, Pisces. And I feel like even if you were to try to avoid it, unless, you know, you keep yourself stuck in your house and just don't go out at all, I feel like something is hovering around you. It's actually all around you. And it is very positive, okay? I do feel, though, the Hermit, there's a lot of fear associated with this. And the fear is, it's not like, you know, it's not fear about relationships, but it's more like a lot of you might be afraid of confrontation for some reason. I'm picking that up. A lot of you, if you've been seeing multiple people, you might be afraid of confrontation, and you might be afraid of what to say when the confrontation happens, either from your end or from your partner's end. But I feel like there is that sense of, you know, communication. Like I said, truthful communication is going to be very important for you. It is really important for you to put your foot down and decide what it is that you want, and be very clear about what it is that you want. You know, when people ask you, I feel like you're dealing with two people that are a little bit impatient. And when they ask you, like, well, do you want to go here or here or here? Be very clear, because I feel like they want somebody who is decisive, okay? They want someone who's self-assured. They want somebody who is just like, who executes plans, ideas, and who don't hold back. So I do sense that you're dealing with some very, very strong alpha, you know, very strong leadership, like people with a very strong leadership qualities, and also very strong. I feel like even if you're dating women, for example, too, the women are very decisive. They're very strong. They have very strong personalities. Going back to the path, the advice earlier, the Queen of Wands did show up. So a lot of you too might be, you know, dealing with very many fire signs who are impatient as well. So I do sense that. Don't keep them waiting, okay? If you like them, make a show for it. Don't keep them waiting, because I feel like a sense of impatience with them. I don't feel they're going anywhere, because they like you. But I do sense that you are the one that has to make the gesture in this situation if you want it to move ahead. Because I feel like they're kind of like, oh, I've done a lot of the work in the past. What do you have to show me? And you have to make the gesture. You have to like proclaim how you feel in order for this situation to take off, okay? So Pisces, overall, very romantic month for you guys. Spend time with your partner. For those of you in committed relationships, I feel like there's a sense of emotional distance right there. If you like a private reading, please visit my website. The information for the website is in the description box below, where you can view my calendar, you can view my availability, and you click on the book the appointment link, and it should take you there, all right? If you have other questions, you can email me at temperatestar@gmail.com. I'll talk to you soon. I'll be back for the mid-month reading, and the mid-month reading, I will not be changing that format because it's working well. I had to change this format from the 10 card to, you know, clusters, mainly because doing the 10 card spread, I was getting like sensory overload. All the cards were connected to each other, and it's there was too much going on, and there was too much information filtering through, and it was really hard to stay on track and stay focused. So I'm going to be using this spread, this layout and format for the rest of the year, hopefully. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon, Pisces. Take care of yourself, and